This is an infrared sensor clip identified by the Department of War and cataloged under the Pursue Release program. ARRO assessed the material as likely coming from an infrared sensor aboard a United States military platform operating within a United States Central Command Area of Responsibility in 2020. The uploader defined the title as 31 August 2020 followed by two redacted call signs, observes UAP, and a user placed a file on a classified network in August of 2020. 8 members of the United States House of Representatives asked to review a set of 51 potentially related records on March 6th of 2026, and ARRO located this item within a collection of responsive materials. ARRO also notes that many items in that collection do not have a substantiated chain of custody, a detail that affects how analysts can treat the footage. The clip runs for just under 5 minutes and begins with more than a minute of no apparent activity. Early in the clip, a small area of contrast appears in the upper left portion of the frame, moves through the field of view, and disappears toward the lower edge. Moments later, the sensor cycles its zoom setting several times, while another area of contrast becomes visible lower in the frame. Shortly after that, a second area of contrast enters from the left, and the sensor pans to follow this second element, leaving the first object to exit at the opposite edge. For the remainder of the clip, several areas of contrast enter and exit the scene, while the sensor remains focused on the object that appeared second. The imagery is monochrome and shaped by the infrared sensor response, so contrast and movement are the primary cues for the viewer rather than color or fine surface detail. There is no accompanying audio commentary on the file, and the uploader supplied no chain of custody documentation with the clip, which ARRO highlights in its assessment. The limited contextual metadata available to reviewers places the recording in 2020 and locates the platform within the Central Command Area, but the file itself does not include identifying markings that would let independent observers confirm the sensor type or the exact platform. Visual behavior in the clip consists mainly of brief transits across the scene, repeated entries from the frame edge, and a period in which the sensor operator adjusts zoom and tracking while maintaining lock on a single target. There is no single moment in this clip that offers a clear shape or a sustained, unambiguous signature. Instead, the record is a sequence of low-contrast returns against a background with the sensor changing magnification and aim. That combination of sensor adjustment and short-lived contrast events is exactly why chain of custody and original sensor logs matter for analysis, because they let analysts correlate control inputs, geolocation, and instrument settings with what appears on screen. ARRO included this item among other materials discovered on a classified network and supplied an informational description that does not itself constitute an analytical conclusion about the nature of the objects observed. For viewers, the file documents the appearance and motion of contrast features recorded by an infrared sensor and the practical limits of interpreting such footage without complementary telemetry and provenance records. The broader procedural point is that footage alone, without a clear history and supporting metadata, constrains what investigators could definitively establish. To review the published details, related footage, and follow ongoing coverage, explore the case file, related footage, and our weekly UAP News podcast at UAPDrop.com.